Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, 1 dead and 2 injured after truck overturns on highway. 2 persons have been rushed to hospital while another is dead after their vehicle overturned near the Old Harbor exit of the PJ Patterson Highway in St. Catherine on Wednesday afternoon. The Fire Brigade's Divisional Commander for St. Catherine, Superintendent Dennis Lyon, says that the Old Harbor Fire Station was alerted about the crash about 5:19 p.m. Lyon says that the truck overturned into a ditch along the highway, trapping the deceased man who remains unidentified. Fire personnel had to await the assistance of a wrecker to retrieve the man's body from beneath the truck. Relatives of the deceased who arrived on the scene complained about how long it took for the fire services to free the man's body. Murder 3 months after conflict resolution session. 3 months before Monday's fatal stabbing of 20-year-old Kelia White at the Catholic College of Mandeville, the Manchester Police had conducted a conflict resolution session at the institution. Head of the Manchester Police, Deputy Superintendent Kerry Duncan, made the disclosure on Wednesday during a visit to the college with Education Minister Favour Williams and the Manchester Central Member of Parliament, Rhoda Crawford. It is indeed a very tragic moment for all of us. Conflict resolution is very critical to nation building. I don't know what influenced a particular decision weeks ago, but this very same institution reached out to us as a police force in the area of resolving conflicts, and we responded. We were here on these very grounds, partnering with this institution, trying to enlighten and empower students and the administrative staff as to how to treat with their conflicts, he said. The news was told that the Manchester Police's Community, Safety and Security Branch previously visited the school on February 13, and to see where we ended up on Monday with a very promising young lady being fatally injured and a young man injured. Let us not forget the perpetrator, the suspect in this matter, also has been impacted in a negative way where the crime is concerned, said Duncan. Minister Williams said she is alarmed at the number of reported conflicts in schools. Last week, in preparation for my sectorial presentation, when I looked at the critical incidents report from all our schools, it was very sad to see the number of fights in school, out of school, on the way to school, on the way to home. I know that we have it within us as Jamaicans to tackle this issue of violence in school, she said. We are calling on all Jamaicans to join us so that we can significantly reduce the incidence of violence in our schools. I know we partner with members of the GCF in a number of different ways within our schools. They are there. They are called the school resource officers, added Williams. Duncan also called on adults to guide the children away from violence. It is important that we find the more civilized ways to treat with how we deal with conflicts. It is important that the students, our young people, know how to treat with conflicts, he said. It is important that we as adults set the example, because the crime that is perpetuated here, sometimes we say that the children live what they learn, and it emanates from the communities, he added. Crawford called for a united approach in tackling crime. We now have to get to the point. We shouldn't wait until these incidents get to our own doorways. As a people, as a society, we have to become more radical. I think the time has come where we must stop playing the blame game. As political leaders, as lawmakers, we cannot do this alone. The fight against the crime and the criminality requires a united effort, she said. Dr. Diane Davis-Smith, president of the Catholic College of Mandeville, said the school is saddened by Monday's incident. Our theme is fulfilling dreams and aspirations through education. We have remained faithful to that, and despite this blur in our history, our 30 years of existence, we will continue to pursue the fulfillment of dreams and aspirations through education. We recognize that is the way we are going to rescue our country, she said. The political, education, and the security leaders also met with White's family during the visit. New policy proposes 6 visa categories for travel to Jamaica. The government has developed a national visa policy for immigration control and border security management. The National Visa Policy 2024 was tabled in Parliament on Tuesday. Minister of National Security, Dr. Harris Chang, delivering his contribution to the sectoral debate, said the visa policy aims to make travel to Jamaica easier for business travelers as well as visitors while protecting the borders. He says the policy will establish rules, outline the framework, and define the governance structure, supporting the government's strategic direction for all relevant stakeholders involved in the visa issuance process. It comes against the backdrop of a sustained increase in annual visitor arrivals to Jamaica. Minister Chang also cited the strategic importance of economic growth through seamless travel facilitation, business development, and the formal exchange programs. The policy proposes 6 main categories of visas, which will be issued by the Passport Immigration and the Citizenship Agency, guided by a set of criteria. These categories will include tourism or business, employment, student or exchange, diplomats and officials, digital nomads, and dependent visa. Beach Stout to be sentenced today for wife's murder. Portland businessman Everton Beach Stout MacDonald and his co-convict Oscar Barnes are to be sentenced today for the 2020 murder of his wife Tonya MacDonald. A 7-member jury found the men guilty of murder and a conspiracy to commit murder on March 6. The body of Tonya MacDonald was found with the throat slashed and with multiple stab wounds along a deserted road in Sherwood Forest, Portland. Jamaicans urged to reduce exposure to heat. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is urging members of the public to reduce their exposure to heat, with the island experiencing hotter than normal temperature. The Health Ministry is reminding the public that excessive heat stress is harmful to health and is potentially fatal. Heat-related illnesses can range from milder conditions such as a rash or cramps to serious and potentially life-threatening conditions such as heat stroke. In order to prevent illness associated with the heat, members of the public are encouraged to hydrate with cool water and limit or avoid sugar-sweetened drinks and beverages that contain alcohol. The Health Ministry is recommending indoor exercise where possible, avoidance of the sun during the middle of the day by limiting outdoor activities to mornings and evenings, and wearing lightweight, lighter-colored, loose-fitting clothes made of breathable fabrics. The ministry is also warning that some persons are at a greater risk of being affected by heat. Among the most vulnerable are the elderly, bedridden persons, as well as infants and children younger than 6 years of age, persons who are overweight, and those with pre-existing medical conditions, including diabetes and hypertension. The public is also being reminded that children should never be left in locked vehicles, no matter the circumstances. Policeman charged for 2022 fatal shooting in Accompong. The police constable involved in the January 2022 shooting of a man at an event in Accompong, St. Elizabeth, has been charged with murder. Constable Larry Barrett was charged on the weekend following a ruling from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. He appeared before the St. Elizabeth Parish Court on Wednesday and was offered bail in the sum of $2 million. Constable Barrett is to return to court on June 10. Lloyd Davis of Beth Salem, St. Elizabeth, was killed in the incident. 5 others, including 2 children, also received bullet wounds during the same incident. Investigators say an altercation developed involving the policeman, who is a Maroon, and some others at the event.